Emma here. Today I want to teach you 3 strategies of how to break the weight loss self-sabotage cycle. In other words, yo-yo dieting. We've all been there. You get on it, you lose the weight you want to, but just as you almost hit your target weight, if you're anything like me, almost hit your target weight, and then you start eating the wrong things again and it all piles back on. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole whys and wherefores of why you end up putting on more weight and about going into starvation mode and all that sort of stuff. I just want to focus on today on why this happens briefly and give you 3 strategies to stop it happening. I'm sure you don't want to watch an hour and a half long videos. You can go to seminars for that, or there's lots of other materials on my website or on my YouTube blog about this subject, and I'll put some links in the bottom after the video so you can read any of those if you like. So I just want to focus on these 3 strategies. Before I do that, I need to explain a little bit about 2 parts of the brain. Again, not in depth on this video today, but it's really important. So I just want to point these out to you. Okay. We have 2 main parts to our brain that we operate from. Now, you'll know those sayings, I'm in 2 minds about things, and you've got that inner voice telling you stuff and telling you to go and eat chocolate, or in my case, cheese sandwiches. But telling you one thing, and then you know that that's not sensible, you know it's not the right thing to do. And actually everybody has this, and it's because it's coming from 2 different parts of the brain. We've got our intellectual part of our brain, which it always comes up with the right choices and makes the right decisions based on a proper assessment of the situation, and it's generally very positive. But we also have another primitive part of our brain that when we get into, or our anxiety levels go up, or we get into the fight, flight, depression part of our brain, this other, it's part of the whole limbic system, we call it the primitive brain, that kicks in and starts getting into this is when you go into comfort eating, or when you start making those habitual bad choices that you know are wrong, but you just can't help it. You know what it's like. You're sitting in the evening and you're watching telly, but your brain knows that you've got some cake or some biscuits or some crisps or some chocolate in the cupboards in the kitchen, and it just nags and nags and nags at you until you give in, and it's just like, oh, for goodness sake, I'll just go and eat it to shut up these voices. Know what I mean? Well, this is all coming from your primitive brain. Now, when you first start dieting, you get that, right, I'm going to do it. This is when you do a successful diet. You get on that, right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be good, I'm going to follow the rules, and I'm going to eat what I'm supposed to, I'm going to eat healthily, I'm going to exercise. Right? That is all coming from your intellectual brain. That's telling you what to do. And actually, when you're on this, we call this the right frame of mind. And when you're in the right frame of mind, you find it easy to eat the right things, to have a sensible diet. It's easy to stick to. You enjoy it. Right? But when your mind turns negative and you become resentful of the diet, then you flip into this primitive part of your brain that resents what you can't eat. Oh, I can't have bread, I can't have chocolate, I can't have crisps, I can't have all these things I like. Now, as soon as you start that resentment towards your diet, as soon as you start thinking it in terms of what you can't have, that's when this negative thinking sends your anxiety levels up. And as your anxiety levels go up, you move from this intellectual part of your brain down to this primitive part of your brain. And that's when the voices start, and then when you start self-sabotaging. Okay, so the key is to stay, or to keep yourself in this intellectual part of your brain where you find it easy to eat sensibly and healthily and do the right things. We talk about emotional eating as well, don't we? When you start emotional eating, what do you go for? You go for the carbs, the cakes, the sweets, the biscuits, all those sugary carbs and sugars are both the same thing, actually. I'll come on to it a little bit later, but basically it's when you start craving these things, it's because your brain is looking for a particular neurotransmitter substitute that you're not producing yourself. So it goes to something else. Now that neurotransmitter that is so important, it's so important to keeping on track, to stop this self-sabotage cycle, and also is the off switch for your appetite is serotonin. Okay, so the key to breaking this cycle is producing serotonin. When you don't, it will go for a substitute, and the sort of substitutes are sugars, nicotine, alcohol. It will find an alternative in these something to consume if you are in the wrong frame of mind, if you're not in the right frame of mind. So keeping yourself in the right frame of mind where it's easy to eat healthily, it's easy to make the right choices. The voices don't even call to you when you're in the right frame of mind, when you're in a great mood, when you're really positive, when you feel fit, healthy, and energetic. The voices don't call to you, do they? They call to you when you're feeling down, right? Feeling down and in the right frame of mind. Your primitive brain and your intellectual brain. Producing serotonin is the key to staying in your intellectual brain and your appetite off switch. So how do you get serotonin? Well, you don't go to the doctor and ask for SSRIs. You learn how to produce it yourself, right? And it comes, the ways to do it in three main forms. One is positive thinking. You already know that one. That's the one where you feel really positive towards being able to eat healthily and losing weight. But it doesn't just end that. It's not just about food. It's learning how to think positively right through your life. Okay? When things happen, when shit happens, which it does, is being able to turn it around and find the positive in it, or be able to deal with it in a positive attitude. Okay? So none of the moaning. You switch off the moaning. You switch off your complaining. You look for the positives. It takes practice. Okay? Because if you are used to slipping into this negativity, you've practiced it a lot, and so you'll be really good at it. You need to flip that round and consciously practice being positive and genuinely positive, not just doing it for, not just paying lip service to it. I mean, genuinely learning how to teach your brain to think in a positive way. Okay, so that's number one, positive thinking. Number two is positive interaction. That is spending time with people and being out at friends' houses, or going out with friends, family, or in groups of people you like to be with. If you like doing team sports, being with those people. If you have hobbies that involve other people, being out doing these things with people. Positive interaction. We get a chemical payoff exchange, if you like, a neurotransmitter exchange from being with other people, because it's what we're supposed to do. We're not solitary animals, we're tribal. So when we go and do that, we get these neurotransmitters as a reward. One of them is serotonin. So positive interaction. And then the third one is positive activity, doing stuff. Okay? You need to be active. We're designed to be active. Now, unfortunately, in this modern world of ours, we have spent a lot of time, money, and energy designing labour-saving devices so we don't have to do things anymore. It's all gone a bit wrong. But that doesn't have to put you off, and you don't have to accept that. Get out and do stuff. If you do exercise, positive activity obviously includes exercise, being active, being physically active. Team sports, anything where you're being active with other people, fantastic. But also doing the things you enjoy doing, achieving stuff. Even if you're doing a new qualification, right, and you're really into the subject and you're really enthusiastic about getting this qualification, or I don't know, studying something you enjoy, studying whatever, you don't think about eating because you're concentrating and focused on what you're doing because you're enjoying it, because you have a positive attitude towards it, and because you are achieving something. So you need to, if you haven't got things in your life that keep you busy, keep you with people, or put you with people, and keep your mind actively focused on something positive, you need to get these things in your life. Now, it might take a bit of trial and error to find things that you enjoy doing, but when you make the step and decide with a positive intention that you're going to do these things, you'll find them. You might always get it right first time, but you keep looking. You don't go, oh, that was no good, that all failed, I'll never find anything. That is the typical thinking, characteristic thinking of a negative thinker. All or nothing. This never works, I'll never do this, I'm always going to be fat, I'm never going to be able to lose weight, this is always going to happen. That's characteristic of this negative, depressive thinking. Learn how to think positively. So there's your 3 strategies. It's positive activity, positive interaction, and positive thinking. Now, those 3 things will keep you in the right frame of mind where you find it easy to make the right choices, and they will stop you slipping into this primitive brain that wants the sugar substitutes, the serotonin substitutes that goes for the sugary things and keeps nagging you because you've got biscuits in the cupboard. So I hope that helps. I'll put some links at the bottom for further things to listen to or to read. And actually, I'm in the middle of writing a book about the whole link between the brain, chemicals, eating and weight loss, and depression, and emotional thinking, and that whole emotional eating rather, and that whole area. So keep connected with me, and I will let you know when that's available. Until then, drop me a line if there's anything else I can help with. Bye.